there's been a lot of stops along the way, like styles that I got into and everything. And I guess the major turning point for me was when I lived in Ireland. I moved to Ireland to see an old friend that moved over there to live. And she said, you should come and play in the street, and you can make money and stuff. So you can do a vacation holiday and actually work and make money and pay for stuff. So I got some money together and I flew over to Ireland, and I drank all the money pretty quick. And then I started playing in the street, and I would play this obscure stuff that I was listening to from the States. Or actually I'd play stuff that was English, and here I am in Ireland, and I'm playing stuff from Europe in the street trying to make money, and I'm not really doing very well at it, and I was nervous and scared and everything. It's that was university for me. Going over there was I never went to university really to go to college or whatever, to prepare to get a job or anything like that. So Dublin was actually the closest thing for me as a university. I learned how to play over there. And eventually I started to get confident and louder and bolder, and turned into, what I do now. And where it really changed was when I decided okay, I like Hank Williams, and I like Johnny Cash, and I like rock and roll. I like Elvis Presley, and I like Carl Perkins, and I'm just going to play these guys and Buddy Holly, and I'm going to play that stuff in the street. And there's a long story about how I ended up wearing cowboy stuff all the time too, and it's a long story, but I guess it was weird. I had to leave America to let myself appreciate American music.
I stole my love from the lips of the lawman's wife. Oh, Adeline, sweet Adeline, now the price we paid couldn't have been no wife. He followed us through the dark, out to the barn where we sealed our love inside. He waited till I left and then he crept inside. He lit the fire after your hands and feet were tied down every town I've been through. I feel eyes on the back of my head, like they know every word I say is a lie. I feel the hangman's noose around my neck. I ran through the night, I could see the orange glow of the flames rising high. When I arrived, your man was waiting for me there, with a pistol by his side and a burning hatred there behind his eyes. Oh, Adeline, sweet Adeline, I could hear your scream as the barn burned, trapped inside every time I feel eyes on the back of my head, like they know every word I say is a lie. And I feel the hangman's noose is closing in. crime. I did covet a lawman's wife. Now it's your face I see when I close my eyes. Headline. I had to choose on that night. I could stay and fight, or I could run and hide. Oh, Adeline, sweet Adeline, I could hear your screams as I ran for my life. Every town I've been through, I feel eyes on the back of my head, like they know every word I say is a lie. And I was there the night you burned to death.
I mean, right at the very beginning of playing music, there was like the teenage years, like 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever. You know, I liked rock and roll, and I liked punk rock and metal, and that was my wheelhouse at the time, because I wanted to play loud and fast, and I didn't really spend a lot of time like learning to play the guitar. So I just wanted to do it right away. I just wanted to write songs right away, and you know, punk rock and metal and like hard rock and stuff like that was like a way you could write songs right away. And like, you know, being a pissed off teenager, it's like, that's what you want to write like that anyway. You want to like, you know, rip it up. So that's where I started. And then I think my first kind of taking country music anywhere near seriously was when I was a teenager. I worked on construction sites, and the guys would listen to country music all day long, which I really didn't like at the time, because, you know, it was pokey and slow and sentimental and whatever else. But it ended up getting to me. I heard like a song, and I remember thinking to myself, like, God, those lyrics are really straightforward and really not pretentious and not trying to be clever or intelligent or whatever, and very heartachy and right to the point. And I actually found myself moved in this construction site, like people are spitting tobacco and cussing, and I'm like finding myself like almost crying to this music.
It lies down between us night after night, growing deeper and growing wider. The silence that cries out our love has died. With my back turned away so you can't see my eyes, awake staring out in the night time, wondering when we stop trying to share our lives. Why did we ever stop talking? Those glasses of wine around the harbor, just walking, feeling the world was left outside. And now we're strangers under the same roof, desperately hiding from the plain truth. Oh, that we're through, we are through. We fill our days with reasons to stay away from each other. And did you take a new lover? Oh yes, and why did we ever stop talking? Those glasses of wine around the harbor just walking. Feeling the world was left outside. Why did we ever stop talking? Those glasses of wine around the harbor just walking. In the moment of truth, I'm saying goodbye to you.
You see, where I was born in Australia, in like central Australia. There's nothing there. It's a desert. And, you know, I listened to records and stuff, or CDs, tapes, records, whatever was around at the time, you know. And I didn't really know what it was like to go to a rock and roll concert or anything like that. The first live music rock and roll thing that I ever got to do was, I was already like 17, almost 18 years old. No, actually I was 18. And I went to go see some local bands play, and they were like, they were punk bands. And that was like a huge moment, you know, where I'm seeing all these kids like in a fire hall or like a rec room or whatever, just sweating, and like people still moved around at shows then. They would do like jump into the crowd and like slamming, and you know, it was crazy. So like that was a big influence, along with like bands that were already on my radar, like The Clash and stuff like that. You know, I knew that was something special. It wasn't your normal rock and roll. It was like something, you know, something else. It was more just, I got that intensity, the punk rock intensity.
Darkened country road with no light save the moon, driving fast with the hammer down. I tried to get away from you, but I can't outrun what's in my head. 'Cause I went bad. I went bad, Fields and farms flying by in a ghostly shade of blue, flying blind with the headlights off, and I'm trying to break through, but I can't take back what I've done. I can't take it back, so 'cause I went there. screaming up to heaven, and I try to blame that moon. Hear a voice come screaming back, son, you cannot run the truth. No, you can't. And I can't forget that I went bad.
I think for a majority of musicians that are performing, you owe it to yourself to go and tour, and you're going to be broke, and it's going to be hard, and you just have to do it. The thing is once you go ahead and do that, just showing up is super important for people. They see, hey, this guy's from 4 states away, and all of a sudden they want to hear what you have to do because you got in a van or a truck or whatever and did it. They don't know the first thing about you, but if they hear like, hey, he's from such and such, Baltimore, somebody in Florida is going to say like, well, shit, I'll check it out, and they want to see something good. And people's expectations that it is good is there because you believe in it enough to risk all this stuff and go do it. So, yeah, risk it, do it. It's going to be hard. But it's super rewarding, and you make those connections with people like out there that you never would have made connections with. You meet venues and other musicians and people who publish music and all kinds of crazy stuff that if you never got off the couch to go do it, you wouldn't have. You have to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you make it in the music business? You just make it in the music business. You just do it by doing it. And touring is super important nowadays because it sets you apart from the sea of like great websites and PR and so on. So
I left my home so many years ago. I've been around the world, and no matter where I go, I still believe in love. I've been from coast to coast, I've been haunted by the ghost of every love I've lived and lost, and the ones I love the most. And my broken heart kept beating out a rhythm oh so slow. It's bruised and torn and bloodied, but never quite gave up hope. 'Cause I still believe in love. Believe in love just because she wants me. I don't believe to escape the failures that haunt me. But I do believe that I've met my match in you. First time in my life, my heart spoke the truth. What could I do? It chose you. And now I'm asking if you'll take me as your man. Just say you will. Just say I do. 'Cause I still believe in love.
I love it. It's been home. I've left Baltimore and come back. I moved way to California for a couple of years, and then I came back, to Baltimore. I moved away to Ireland for a couple of years. I came back. It's been my home in the United States, and I have so much connection with it. And I guess it's actually informed the music. I have song about Baltimore, and it's informed the music, definitely. You know, it's got a cool, tough reputation where, like, you know, we have guns and drugs, and, you know, you got to be tough, and you're going to get your window busted out if you live in Baltimore. It just happens. You know, you're going to get mugged. You're going to get, like, you know, you're going to step on crack vials and stuff. It's like, I'm not really painting a very rosy picture of it, but, like, that's, you know, it's home for me. I guess that's kind of like how I feel about a lot of things. I want something to have, like, a little bit of a rougher edge around it.
They say success hides a multitude of sin. Well, take a closer look, it's like the devil's set to win. He's got his claws round every heart and every soul. I ask you, boy, where you gonna go? Where the trains come in on the south side of town. Meet me there when there's no one around. Early in the evening when the sun's gone down, I'll show you a secret on the south side of town. Yeah. He comes to me in my deepest sleep. He's telling secrets that he knows I can't keep. About the world, about these times and the end of days. Leaders of men and all their crooked evil ways. Where the ships come in on the east side of town. I'll show you a street where we'll walk down. There by the pretty poison and the sand by the pound. I'll show you a street on the east side of town. Yeah. Side by side, the devil turned to me and he looked me right in the eye. He said, boy, don't you know my game? Where's your soul called to rest come judgment day? Where the doors are locked on the north side of town. Men live like kings, but they wear no crowns. Early in the evening when the pleasure's underground, I'll show you who serve him on the north side of town. from every closed-circuit TV camera in this godforsaken city. And every red light and every ATM machine you think you can run, well, baby, I know he's all